There was a time when it was felt that the Filipinos were anti-foreign. But in reality, it was in response to the signs of the times when there was an anti-Spanish feeling before and now anti-American feeling before, and it led to the friars returning to their own countries. And therefore, the Filipinos are left to mend for themselves. And during the Vicariate, it was very clear that the thrust was Philippinization or the role of the Filipinos in running the entity, the Vicariate. However, we have ambivalent feelings regarding that. There are those who say that anti-foreign feeling is only a perception by the foreigners. But in reality, they are the ones who left the Philippines. And that's why now we are left with very, very few and with very few foreign friars. But in terms of transition, the transition was helped, as I said, by the adjournamento of the Second Vatican Council. It is not easy to pinpoint whether it is because of Vatican II demand for renewal or simply because the friars are intent on renewing themselves. Though I would accept that the initiatives of Vatican II and of the order are not really well received yet by the majority. But the leadership has to coach us to follow what the Curia and what the Church wants us, directs us to do. So the province was more interested in organization and in finding its identity. Everything then was dependent on the general chapters that went. For example, the chapter in Madrid defined our Franciscan identity. We are to be poor, we are to be contemplatives, etc., etc. And naturally, our constitutions were molded. And with regards to the Philippinization, it is a result of the trust to follow the Second Vatican Council move regarding going back to the gospel, going back to the founding charism, and at the same time, the emerging ecclesiology and Christological issues that change our perception regarding our identity. A contemplative fraternity in mission. We emphasize being together, being one, and at the same time, what we are striving also is trying to live the evangelical poverty of being poor and living like poor.
The province has indeed grown and has actually evolved. I would like to give you some highlights of this development in our province, but I would like to divide it into four. Maybe for the fourth the 40 years, no? 40 years of our province. So first 10 years, the second 10 years, the third 10 years, and the fourth, the last 10 years of this province. The first would be, the highlight would be the structural development of an independent Filipino province, no? And I believe this was started by Benny Baisas and Jimmy Yakit, no? But towards the end of the first 10 years, we have this already, the trust for mission as dialogue. So we were still one province at that time, no, including the Visayas. But this time, the last few years of this 10 years, we started our mission of dialogue of life in Mindanao. But at the same time, also towards the end of the 10 years, there were already changes in the formation of a more contextualized theological formation for our friars. This was already a more expansion in the south, no? And in fact, not only a missionary of dialogue and faith with the Muslims, but we had already expanded to parishes in Muslim areas, and including Kidapawan and also Josefina in Mindanao. And then, but at the same time, also the formation also was institutionalized, especially the inserted communities. No? Of course, it started from the last 10 years of the province, no? But then it was more highlighted and then institutionalized, what we call the inserted communities among the poor. No? And in fact, also the contextualized formation with the intercongregational theological center. But at the same time, this second 10 years was also the growth of the province. No? That's why from 2003 to 2013, this is the third 10 years. It was during this year when we decided already to have a new entity in the south. We also expanded in the north, no? In the Nueva Vizcaya region, Isabela, and also then we went back to Bicol region, two presences in Bicol. So this was also the start of the mission or ministries to the rural poor parishes. But also even in Metro Manila, we also accepted during this time what we may call the urban poor parishes. But the last 10 years, no, I believe the highlight there is not so much more within the province, no, but the impact of the universal church. So there was an impetus of a pope who is a Jesuit but Franciscan in his values and characters. It has challenged the province and in fact the whole Franciscan order in the whole world, and we were also challenged by that. Now I believe many has indeed been done for the last 40 years in terms of formation, and then ministries to the rural poor and urban poor, and then also I forgot about, there were missions. We have accepted missions in many different places. In fact, we are taking charge of Sri Lanka, and lately we have accepted Myanmar as part of our province. I believe that the province is invited once again to continue with this missionary character inspired by San Pedro Bautista. And we are happy that we are receiving invitations now from Nueva Ecija and then also from Palawan. So the province has indeed grown and has evolved, and we continue to grow. So I hope, I would like to ask the people around us who are helping us. First, we thank you for your support and you being great partners to our mission here in the Philippines and abroad. And I hope you continue to support us and the friars in their ministry and in their mission, and to build the kingdom of justice and love and peace in our country through your prayers, but also your generous contribution for our province. And so thank you, and happy 40th anniversary of the province of San Pedro Bautista.